What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 30 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Malekith and Naggarond Inc. campaign. We here at Naggarond Inc. believe that misery for all is not just about quantity. Market research has demonstrated that our leading competitors' subjects are up to 60% less miserable than those of Naggarond Inc. Naggarond Inc., a better brand of misery. Anyway, as we saw last time, misery was brought unto Tor Anroc as the entire province, it seemed, both their armies and apparently their militia citizenry, or citizen militia, marched out to meet Morathi in the field and were promptly destroyed. This means the province should be pretty much ours, and this faction will probably be wiped out within the next few turns, especially now that we're getting a little bit of help from Jaden, and Malekith has in fact made it to the center of the donut. And granted, we still have a lot of bites to take out of the outer portions, but it's looking pretty good here, which is good because we're on turn nice, and that does mean that we have 31 turns remaining until the end game scenario. Now, the end game will spawn all the wood elves out here, I assume. I don't actually recall ever doing the wood elf end game before, but yeah, so they should spawn all over this place, and then at the same time there will be another spawn at the Witchwood, so we will need to prepare an army to defend this place when the spawn happens. Gotta remember that and do it in advance, or prepare in advance. Anyway, let's begin with what we've got to do this time around. First of all, I believe Admiral Yorn Barbstorm was going to take Tor Anroc here, and maybe even be able to move up to Tor Anroc. Let's try something like this. I want to see if we can get just close enough to both attack Tor Anroc as well as to support the attack on Tor Anroc, and it looks like we will. Alright, fantastic. That'll make Jaden's battle against these guys a little bit easier. She still has a basic army, mind you, but, well, our artillery should be able to outshoot those enemies, no problem. Before we get to that, though, I think we'll move the rest of whoever still needs to move, though I don't believe there's too much, and do our buildings, then we'll attack, end the turn, and then we'll probably have ourselves another fight, as we'll have battles to choose from, or at least we should. Oh, actually, no. We'll do this fight first. Then we'll do buildings. Or maybe we want to have Rakarth fight. Now, you know what? Maybe we want to have Rakarth fight first. Alright, so first of all, just so I don't forget, let's do this. Admiral Valal, you're going to grab this shipwreck just because you can and just because you're here. But we're still marching or sailing to Conquata. Explore the island. This should be auto-resolvable. You are going to get damaged, but hopefully not so much that it's concerning. I think take the slaves and the heal because it's going to take a while to... heal up otherwise, and you got yourself another 8,000 treasury. Fantastic. And then I guess you are going to start slowly sailing down here. If Hellebrand lands at Conquata, she can take that, while Valal moves down to the Isle of Wight. He may have to just siege it, depending on how many enemies are here and whether this little army returns or not. We'll also have to see whether Hellebrand is capable of taking the territory here, although if Grog stays out here and they fight us in the field, then we'll definitely have an advantage. Obviously, Hellebrand has the issue of not having any artillery in her army, so that's the big problem there. Anyway, Rakarth, it is time for you to get your first battle, only against an island, mind you, but I'd love to see your monsters get to work. Alrighty, obviously raid the cove. Let's see, close victory you say. We'll see about that. Now we got the Lichbone Pennant. That's obviously going to go on Rakarth himself, as he has no other source of magical damage. We can pop the Scarecrow banner on one of the Manticores. Once again, I'm not going to keep the Manticores in this army. We are going to replace, well, at least some of them. But that'll be when we have capacity for more... at least more Hydras. I'm thinking we replace 2 of them, keep 3 Charybdises, but then get 1 more regular Hydra, and then the Chill of Sontar in here as well. The Hydras will generally be a little bit more useful than the Charybdises will, just by virtue of their tankiness and healing. We can, I guess, put the Banner of Eternal Flame on the Hydras, because they're gonna blob up, although I suppose we could do the same to one of the one of these guys. I'll think about it. And then standard of discipline on, I don't know, the witch, perhaps. Anyway, Tommy Sawfish, you have a bunch of depth guard with polearms, I see. Oh, well, that'll be interesting against our monsters. Let's see what you can do. Alright, it looks like Rakarth is gonna be silent today, but oh well. Nonetheless, it's still going to be his proper debut fight. Not going to be a crazy difficult one, I imagine, mind you, and just by virtue of it being a Skull Island, still, it should be worth our time. Plus, I want to try out all these Hydras and Charybdises working together at the same time. Look at all those Hydra heads. Is my Alpha Legion showing? Because this is glorious. Anyway, I also like, I really like Rakarth's armor and color scheme, generally speaking. It's, I don't know, it's a lot more bright and flashy, a little bit less edgy, just a little bit. It almost reminds me of Zatan's color scheme, where it's almost like, you know, harkening back to the older lores and models, where they were more bright and colorful, and that sort of thing. We've also got the Ravagers of Rakarth, the Regiment of Renown of Scourge Runner Chariots, which, funnily enough, are not matching the, not really matching the color scheme that Rakarth has, but they have the color scheme of Karond Kar, which, once again, works for Alpha Legion stuff, so I'm happy. Anyway, these guys are going to move to the side of the enemy while we try to hit them in the back, but I feel like our flyers are going to get there faster, and now I can hear my cat meowing. 1 second, I'm just going to move him. It's really distracting. Alrighty, well, fortunately, not too much has happened, and hey, just back just in time for our first Charybdis breath. So the thing that Rakarth gives the ability for Charybdises to use a breath like the Hydras can, and I guess it's going to be a little bit of an ice and fire show today, as the Hydras are going to start breathing on the enemies as well. Oh, lovely, and here comes a few more. Alrighty, looking like a pretty effective opening salvo, generally speaking, and now we actually move the monsters forward. In the meantime, while that is happening, let's get back to Rakarth and the Manticores and the Scourge Runners. It looks like the enemy artillery are pretty much done before the Scourge Runners get here. We also do have to be careful with them, because I think they can hit fairly hard and potentially damage our own units, but at the very least, these guys, for now, are more or less fine. They have damaged a little bit on on this one unit of Depth Guard here. Interesting. It's seeming like they might be, their ranged attacks might be more effective than the ranged attacks of the regular Cold One chariots, which perhaps not surprising. Minus the fact that these guys are anti-large, and the anti-large bonuses wouldn't be applying to them. But anyway, looks like they've halved the HP of this depth guard and would be able to destroy them quite well if we just kept out of their range. Though granted, it is 3 of them attacking it at the same time, that single unit. Anyway, back to the main battle. Instead of just being distracted by the various Scourge Runners, the Hydras and the Charybdises continue to do good work, moving into the blobs of enemies now, and this army is most certainly gonna have some blob tactics. And then finally, Murderous Prowess is going to activate as well. The best thing that Rakarth does is give Murderous Prowess to all of these monsters, making them that much stronger. And we're also using the Manticores, I think, here to decent effect. We peeled a couple of them away from Rakarth so that they give their bolstered aura, buffing the physical resistance and armor of the nearby monsters as well. Right? Let me just double check that. I'm not crazy. That's a thing. I feel like I checked it. Bolstered armor area, yes. Affects all allies in range, physical resistance, and armor. Good. And, well, the armor of Charybdis is 85, the Hydra's is 55, but they do have regeneration to counteract that. Anyway, it looks like the Vamps are having a pretty bad day. We're moving the Scourge Runner chariots in, and it looks like Rakarth is going to join the fray as well. I think so, anyway. Oh, there he is. Mowing down the last few of the zombie pirate deckhands mobs, but it looks like they're just going to melt away. In fact, the entire army is going to start melting, and the battle will be ours. Not to worry, guys, we'll get a proper big battle with Rakarth relatively soon. I just wanted to get this one underway rather than auto-resolve it, especially considering it's going to take like 3 to 5 maybe turns for Rakarth to get to an actual enemy, as everybody is a little bit far away, and we're going to have to go down to the cult of Sotek, who have recently declared war on us. Look at him just hovering overhead, watching the monsters work. Lovely. Alright, well done, Rakarth. Easy little fight, and we are 20,000 gold richer. A little bit of XP for you as well, and I think really the only real damage we ended up taking was to the Charybdises, but that is hardly surprising with their lack of regen. Alrighty, there we go, no problem at all. This army is definitely going to be involving some blob tactics as it goes. We'll definitely need to pick up a few more auras to buff everybody up in the, in the blob. We can also see that the Charybdises took a lot more damage than the Hydras did, who took no damage at all, and using them at the same time as the Hydras are in the same position means that they will obviously be in glass cannons, and lacking the regeneration of the Hydras mean they will always get more hurt. We'll need to be careful with them because of that. I also noticed that the arrows of the Scourge Runner chariots are rather threatening to our own units, as they do seem to hit reasonably hard, and they can they certainly did a little bit of damage to our own manticores when they were working in concert with them, so we'll have to be careful about that as well. We are going to I want to say take the 375 ain't bad, 3k ain't bad either. Take the slaves for now. We may want to upgrade stuff again, or rush construction of a few things again relatively soon. Another overseer, always nice to pick up, and a talisman of preservation. Oh, that's very nice. Well done finding that one, Rakarth. Unfortunately, I think that's got to go to Malekith, because he's going to need the extra defenses. Although it does give him extra melee attack. He's already so high in melee attack, and I believe will be even higher because of the Sword of Cain. Yeah, so he doesn't actually need the melee attack as much, so I'd rather get the extra Talisman of Preservation buffs. We also have a lot of weapons that we found. Everything else, pretty much, with the exception of the Armor of Eternal Servitude, which we're going to put on one of our lords, has mostly found a lord. We'll have to figure out who gets the legendary stuff, basically. The good stuff. Well, it's part of it's going to go on to new lords as well, but I guess we could give some heroes temporary stuff as well. Either way, Malekith is now up to 16 ward save, and he'll have another 30%, I believe, on... or 20%, so yeah. 36 ain't gonna be too bad. Make him a little bit less fragile, and just like Rakarth's army, the Charybdis here, our coastal relations liaison, is also quite damaged. Unfortunate, but it's the nature of the unit, and maybe we can tech into some upgrades for these guys. Anyway, Grand, you are finally ready for the upgrade to tier 5, which also means we don't need... I was about to say growth buildings here, but we don't have any. Although, I guess, unless you consider the Black Roads to be growth buildings, which I don't. It's just a sort of a little bit of a side effect. Dark Citadel for you. Ooh, lots of upgrades here. And, if we're going to build the Dark Citadel, maybe we are good to go for the Slave Drive here as well. Reduce the cost of this and the cost of the other stuff that we will be building here. Palace of Princes, you're in the same situation. And we do have a decent amount of other upgrades here as well. So maybe we pop the slave drive here as well. The public order is still reasonably okay. And the growth could also be useful. Yeah, slave drive. Alrighty. We have been getting our slave stores back up and running, so we do have the capacity to actually spend them. Next up, Northern Wastes, you are going to upgrade your money and your growth and your main buildings as well. There we go. Isthmus Coast, Skeggy, yes, up to the next level. Oh, damn, Skeggy, you're going to take forever to be upgraded, because it's a yellow territory. I forget, what does the landmark here do? Oh, right, this is a terrible, terrible landmark. I might not even build this. I'm not sure that this is worth our time. We're probably not going to be using Skeggy as a military province. I mean, we might, but the thing is, we'll probably build one in Ulfwan, and we have to recruit stuff out of here, and definitely out of Naggarond as well. I'll think about it. Either way, that doesn't change the fact that we're going to upgrade... You know what? Still upgrade Skeggy first, though, because it's closer to potential enemy attacks, if nothing else. Alrighty, and that was where? Isthmus Coast, so Isthmus of Illustria is up next. Stone Mason's Workshop. This one, 900. Damn. I was about to say rush it, but you know what? These things are cheap to build anyway, so there's no real need to rush it until we can rush other or build other things. Machu Peaks, I guess you are going to go for... Well, you have the Artisan's House, which means Black Roads for you. Isthmus of Illustria, because of Hexoatl and all of the... resource building, this is still probably going to be a good money-making province, even if it is a yellow territory, and it'll take a long, long time because of that to get it up and running. Anyway, or get it online. Spine of Sotek, you are up next. Iron Smelter, 2.4k. Darn, you're expensive. And 2.4k for the Blackstone Walls, and then what do we build here? This is a pure military province. Well, we do always need more Sorceress's Abodes. Alright, Sorceress's Abode it is. More Tech Thieves, more Sorceresses. Tor Anroc, yes, we will upgrade you. Or wait, no, you know what? Let's upgrade the Shrine of Cain building. Because if these guys return the Sword of Cain once we sacrifice the Shell Ray, then Malekith will have to reclaim it. Does this thing need to be tier 3 so that we can actually draw the Sword of Cain? Yeah, oh, tier 2. Okay, well, we're getting there. So let's... Oh, it takes 20 turns. Damn, we may not be able to access it very quickly. Let's just hope that the AI takes it. So we'll upgrade you for now, and then Tor Anroc next. Witchwood, you're up next. I don't actually think we care about the fighting pits here anymore, so let's just... Well, we can still upgrade the Estates of the Masters just for the growth, if nothing else, but this may be a waste of our money. Although, on the other hand, if we trade it to these guys, they'll pay us for it, so for now, it may still be worth our time. And what else do we build here? I guess the Black Roads. Why the Black Roads? Just for the extra little tiny bit of growth. Yeah, we could build the slave slums to transfer the public order to nearby territories, but if we're planning to trade it to the Ancestral Throng, hopefully, once it reaches tier 4 or 5 for Kragroth Deep, then it won't matter. I'd just rather grow it as fast as possible. Abilious Cliffs. I guess we're going to upgrade you. Oh, this is... It's quite expensive for a province that we're not really using, and we may, in fact, trade to this faction. You know what? I think we'll just leave it for now. Anyway, that's the buildings, which means we got ourselves another attack to put under our belts. Slanesh Giggle. You are going to attack Tor Anroc, and we'll fight this cinematically because, well, the battle says it'll be a loss, so... We'll see how the Dark Riders do here with that little bit of extra armor. They have a lot of enemy range units, though. We'll see. Alrighty, oh, well, isn't that a pretty little city that's about to get annihilated by our artillery? And, ooh, they are going to fire back, however, with their own Eagle Claw bolt throwers, or bolt throwers in general, firing from inside their towers, and back at our bolt throwers. Classic little elven exchange. And we are going to lose probably a little bit of our artillery crew, rather. We're going to counteract that a little bit with a Pan's Impenetrable Pelt. I don't know whether this actually works against the towers, but I imagine that it should. Missile resistance and damage resistance up by 20% apiece. Looks like the first of the enemy towers has fallen. Oh, and I noticed that the bug with the elven walls still exists, huh? I still see that they haven't fixed it. Fix this bug. It's been around for a while. Basically, when Elven Towers collapse, at least half of them turn into this, like, non-existent... Yeah, there we go. And this kind of always messes with my head, because I'm always thinking, oh, look, it's a breach in the wall, and I tell the units to try to go through it, but they don't go through it because they can't, because it's not actually a breach. Oh. Oh well, regardless, we got a little bit of artillery work to do on the units that are in here, so it's going to take a little bit of time, but we should be able to break through both the enemy towers and the gate and still have ammunition remaining. Just taking a look at all these high elven units, we'll be able to build them ourselves in a reasonably short order, though we'll probably limit ourselves to the relatively elite units. Otherwise, as for the balance of power, or, well, the unit type disparity, we only have 2 units of dark shards, as well they are unshielded, and a bunch of dark riders, who, well, are crossbows, but are also unshielded, whereas the enemy has 5 units of Lothern Sea Guard, which are all obvious shielded and fairly decently armored at that, plus a few extra units of archers, so they might be able to outshoot us in a pure range contest. In addition to that, they have a unit of Swords Masters of Hoeth, as well as a couple of units of White Lions, so those 3 units, even without the spear backup, should be able to take on our Bleak Swords and Dread Spears just fine. But, you know, it's a sort of... the whole is greater than the sum of its parts situation for us, where we should still be able to carry the day, especially with our artillery advantage and the fact that we have a mage to dish out damage. Now, I did try to target the wall with the split shot in the hopes of damaging the units up on top of the wall. It looks like some shots do hit the units on top of the wall, but it seems like it's probably not worth it, as it takes much longer to break through the wall that way, and thus we're just going to use regular shots to break through. And the reason that we want to do this is to knock out these Lothern Sea Guard by having the wall collapse under them, as the AI is generally fairly bad at bothering to move away when this is happening, A, and B, we need to breach those walls anyway. That doesn't change. Alright, we're going to watch this piece of the wall collapse, and then I'll speed it up right after, I promise. We're not just going to watch Reaper Bolt Throwers that do work all day. Alright, come on, a few more shots. Let's see that wall collapse. Hopefully it's not going to be graphically screwy like the rest of this wall is. Alright, come on, a few more. Man, this is taking a while to break through. There we go. Alrighty, and that looked pretty painful for those units. And how much damage? Not so bad. They took maybe a third of their HP damage because of that. The other third was ripped off of their HP by the bolt throwers. Anyway, with that, we're going to just speed it up while we continue the bombardment. Did a little bit of damage on the Lothern Sea Guard up here, but because of the blocking sort of structural pieces, it's kind of a waste of our time. So we're not going to bother doing it much more. We've broken the gate now and are going to breach the wall in at least one more place, it looks like over here, and then we'll start moving our units forward to actually give the rest of this a fight. Alright, collapse this wall. And yeah, so this is not a breach, this is where the tower used to be. And you can see the enemy is still moving around up there now. Huh, I take it these guys died up here because of the breach? Interesting. Well, alright, time to move in, or... It's going to take a little bit more, but we do also begin our casting, so our mage will be using Flock of Doom repeatedly throughout this battle in the hopes of dishing out that little extra bit of damage, and there we go. Finally, we're in range. Took a little bit of time. And now it's time to start applying all of those crossbow bolts to the enemy. Too bad these Merlins up here didn't get knocked down, but oh well. Hopefully not a big deal. Maybe I should have had our units fire a little bit more, but hey, we can always just arc over the walls and hit the units on the inside of the settlement rather than the units protected by said walls, especially when they're going to turn around like this and allow us to shoot them in the back. Ah, look at those elven towers and just elven city or high elven cities burning. Such a sight warms the heart of the Druki. Alrighty, and let's see, the enemies have moved the Swords Masters of Hoeth up on the walls, though it looks like not for long. What's their missile resistance at? 13, plus they have that deflect shots ability as well. well, swell for them, but like this, if the enemy is not going to take advantage of the walls, we should be able to shore up our limits in terms of enemy range superiority, especially with them still moving around close to each other and allowing us to hit 3 to 4 units with every cast of our Flock of Doom, like so. Alrighty, we'll see how much damage our mage will have done by the end of the battle. Alrighty, and what do we got here? Now the white lines have moved in to fight, and we are going to have to try to contend with them with merely dread spears and bleak swords, though we do have a master who should move in here and help out a little bit. And of course, we do also have both Black Arc support, artillery support, and range support coming in, and magical support as well, so it's not the only thing. I do wish that this portion of the battlefield was just a little bit brighter, but we do have this portion of the battlefield to take a look at. There we go, nice canes, I want to say lash. I never remember the names of the individual support abilities, though they do look real neat. Alrighty, and now we've made our way through the breaches, but it's probably going to take quite a while before we can actually break through to the actual enemy settlement, even with the magical support, both from our mage or our sorceress and our Black Arc. Especially with the enemy white lines and swords masters defending, our melee units shouldn't have any kind of chance against them, so we gotta wear down their range units. And whatever enemies we can hit with our own range units as well, as in whatever melee enemies we can hit. There is still another unit of white lines moving around back here that's at full HP and we'll be able to reinforce, though it does look like one of these 2 units of enemy archers will be backing off. Here comes another use of that Flock of Doom, dishing out a little bit of extra damage as the enemies move in to help, and it looks like the first of the enemies has been pretty much cleared, or as in the first of the enemies that were defending the gate. Fantastic. Clear another one, and hey, Murderous Prowess is active. Lovely. So increased damage to all of our units, melee and range alike. How are we doing over on this side? Looks like the enemy has dodged one of our Black Arc abilities. And we're about to move more units into the city, namely the Black Arc Corsairs are just going to head into melee. I was thinking about maybe climbing them up here over the walls, but that would have just killed their vigor, and frankly, we're kind of running out of melee units at this point, because the Swords Masters are ripping apart these bleak swords, although it's actually relatively even. And we'll still want to send in our other melee units. Here come the Doomfire Warlocks as well. They may be facing off against spears, but they shouldn't be too in danger, because right before they moved in, we popped that Visen's Wild Form. And base weapon damage aside, that's another 40 armor, which is pretty significant on everybody, putting the Bleak Swords at the very least up to 100, and we still cause bleed. You gotta love that ability on our basic units. Bleed against these relatively weak infantry enemies is going to give so much value. Alright, get to it, Doomfire Warlocks. Harvest some souls for Slaanesh, would ya? I guess it isn't such a bad thing that we did keep this one unit of Doomfire Warlocks in this particular army. We'll probably delete it later, although, on the other hand, maybe we'll put a second one in there. I don't know, I'll think about it. Hey, and the Master has joined the fray as well to chase down the enemy noble, which looks like they're going to try to run away rather than face off against the Master any further. And it looks like we are very much into the enemy settlement now, which means our Dark Riders can stream through those breaches in the enemy walls as well. Get a few more of those shots from our artillery, which have been doing a pretty good job throughout this entire battle. And in fact, just out of curiosity, they're basically out of ammunition. 9,000 damage, 6,000 damage, and well, you basically did nothing, but to be fair, it doesn't count the damage dealt to breaking through those walls and breaking down those towers, so yeah. And in the meantime, I believe with that, the rest of the enemy army will shatter, and the battle will be ours. We got 100 and... wait. Okay, so about 200 kills and 40,000 damage on Jaden the Grey Vanquisher. Not so bad. Certainly nothing crazy, but those Flocks of Doom certainly did come in handy. And did a little bit of chasing down of the enemy troops just in case it gave us a bonus. I still am not entirely sure whether it does or it doesn't, but hey, why not? And ooh, I didn't realize you could go past the city like this onto the other side, for the side that you can't attack from. This is kind of neat. Oh, I really like this map. Huh. I feel like it's rare that you can go behind a city like this, as in it's usually just like the front and side facades of the city, but it looks like in this particular map, this is the entire city itself. I guess there's more of it up here to some degree, or at the very least I see a high elven obelisk up there, and potentially a path that leads up there as well, but this is a very nice map. You get this version of the map for various factions, and as odd as it may seem, I think the High Elven one might be the best looking one. As at least compared to the Bretonnian one, I certainly like this one more with the stuff that's going on back here. Anyway, close victory, we're good, and Jaden can proceed to other things. No valiant defeat for her, auto-resolve. Alrighty, there we go. Not bad, I would say reasonable losses, if nothing else. And damn, I once again forgot to check what tier you're at, so I'm going to say... if it was a tier 2, then we should sack it. Although then again, that'll mean more provincial instability in the place, but it is a decent amount of money and replenishment. Why do I always do this? Alright, just sack it, just sack it. I'm just gonna hope that I was right about... Oh, wait, but if you sack it, will you actually be able to... Okay, wait, here's the problem. If we sack it, you will have to move away, and you won't be able to come back because you landed, won't you? I mean, I guess we could loot and occupy it, but that makes it a lot less worth our time, it feels. Yeah, just occupy it, screw it. Screw it. Don't bother dealing with it. Hey, we kept the gold mine. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. Better not repair it. And the place will grow fairly quickly back up to tier 3, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to sack it, but at least the public order won't screw us over. Now, would you be able to take a Griffin Gate? Oh, there's a Phoenix there and a much stronger army. Probably not without Marathi's help, but you can certainly take White Peak. And Marathi is nearby. As long as we send Furion back to, say, guard Val's Anvil from these guys, who will probably move in to try to retake it, we should be okay. Alrighty, and I believe... Oh, wait, you. You still have to do this. Auto, is that really close victory? Really? This is a what are you talking about, game? I see the game still underestimates the power of the Blackheart Corsairs. Yeah, we're going to need to get some monsters and stuff in some of these armies, or maybe some shades to replace a few of the Dark Shards, for example. It is a Barbstorm army, after all, though I suppose that the Dark Shards get benefits from the same line as the Blackheart Corsairs do, and I think the Shades don't. Anyway, auto-resolve it, and a little bit much in terms of damage, but it's fine. Don't bother looting and occupying, I guess. It's fine. We can always loot and occupy other stuff, and ooh, missile resistance 15. That ain't bad. This is going to be a fairly decent thing for sorceresses, and Naggarond secured. Swell. Now I'm going to put you into demand highborn hostages, I guess, and I'm just gonna hope that the public order remains fine. We should also probably upgrade Tor Anroc as fast as we can to try to get that marble up and running as well, though it'll be a long time before we can get the Black Citadel of Anlec up and running. Alright. Alright, what I wanted to check was this. So, Sheath Master, yeah, so it upgrades the Dark Shards, but it wouldn't upgrade Shades, so even though Barbstorm would benefit them. Raid Leader buffs Shades, Missile Strength plus 8%. Well, we're double dipping anyway. So maybe we'll just keep the Dark Shards for the additional little extra bits of damage. We just need something for the auto-resolve to actually recognize the strength of this army at least a little bit more than it currently does. I also have to wonder whether these guys will recruit enough to try to retake Tor Drenil. I doubt it, but who knows. We should also pop you into Dread Expansion while we're here, and we used all of our money on buildings, or in the sense, or rather we built everything that we needed to build, other than... Was there a reason I didn't upgrade Tyrant Peak? Wait. Maybe there was, but whatever it was, I no longer remember it, so we're going to upgrade it right now. Either way, I might have also just skipped it. And yeah, I guess we could upgrade you to the next tier of Blackheart, why not? And the other option would be to build another military building. which would be probably the Harpy Cages in combination with the Dreadmans. But for now, yeah, just go for the enormous Black Ark. 8,000 gold. It's a heck of an investment, though, to be fair. You are also here. We should also probably invest in your buffs. You are going to follow... Well, sort of follow Malice. Malice is probably, as some of you have suggested, going to go to join the Cathayan war, but Leech will probably, in fact, not bother going there, as I would imagine that the coastline probably already belongs to Lokir. We'll probably send the Admiral to follow Rakarth around, as this coastline will certainly have some stuff that we'll need to do. Yeah. That'll probably be the way. Also, do we need to upgrade anything on the other Black Arcs? While we're here and while we're checking Black Arcs, well, now you need to go to the next level, and I imagine that you don't have any new upgrades since we just recently upgraded your stuff. Oh, I guess we could upgrade the Shrine of Cain here. Yeah, might as well. It doesn't really cost us anything. We could also get to the torture posts. Oh, you don't actually have any of these upgrades. Okay, yeah, no, we'll get those next, and then we'll go for the torture posts. Don't worry, guys, we won't be skipping torture posts. That's not the Naggarond Inc. way. Anyway, skip, and assign skill points we'll deal with later. Hero not moved, upgrade available, outpost available. These guys still can't, I imagine, build anything useful. No. At least give us gyrocopters. If we can get gyrocopters, I'd do it, but for now, not worth our time. Alright, let's end the turn and let's see what the enemy, or how the enemy reacts. I just want to double check. Yeah, we do have the Sacrifice to Authority ready, but we're once again going to save it until we can make use of it at the same time as the Confederation. Altharian the Grim, I take it you're going to declare war on us, but, well, good luck with that, sir. His strength rank is 72 and he's going to declare war on us, but I'd like to think it's a sort of loreful war declaration, because of course he would, wouldn't he? And, his little army has landed, eh? And Citadel of Dusk. Well, all the High Elves are coming out of the woodwork to declare war on us. Too little too late as Ulthuan is in dire straits. Oh, this, however, is not too little too late. Damn. Yeah, I should have sent an army to deal with this guy. That's pretty annoying. There's no way that this little army defends against us. Honestly, these armies are stupid. But oh well. Auto resolve it. We're gonna have to move back and retake the place. I'm gonna have to send somebody over there as well. Wait, do we have another Boots of Brachus? How many boots can you make out of one horse? Okay. That's interesting. I'm wondering if this is worth it on this guy, though. I mean, it's not a bad piece of armor. It's not crazy good, but it's not bad. The 5 loyalty is just is crazy. But you know what? Another dead horse. Why? Another more boots. We're using every part of this horse to make as many boots as possible. Wait, can we actually put those on Rakarth? Funnily enough, no, we can't. He has his own armor, doesn't he? Well, that's a little bit of a shame. It would be kind of amusing to be able to do so, but yeah, he has the beast armor of Karand Kar. Too bad. Too bad the boots can't be like a talisman or something like that instead. We can also make talismans out of horse. It doesn't have to be boots. Anyway, ooh. I see Skaven Plagues. Yeah, that was one thing I was concerned about. Either way, Rakarth, you're going to sail down the coastline, and you're going to start moving down there to where you will fight. We'll leave these guys to their own devices. How are you for your recruitment? Getting there. It'll take a little bit of time, but getting there. And once you have sufficient units, you can follow Rakarth along. We can also put you and you into this army. Why 2 sorceresses? Once again, they buff up both Harpies and Bloodwrack Medusa, and we need 6 units. We have 5 here, so we'll need 1 more, so get another Harpy, I guess. Look, it's a lot of Harpies, but the Medusa take 2 turns to recruit? Yeah, so I'll just do the Harpy, and then we'll do another Medusa later. We could always do another Sorceress as well, but that might be a little bit much, especially as we need their capacities for other things. Now, who the heck is going to deal with this nonsense? Somebody has to go and hunt this army down. I guess we send Jaden. They're going to really annoy all these territories, huh? Man. Yeah, that's pretty irritating, I gotta say, but what can you do? Jaden, you're the only one that's close by. I was gonna have you go after White Peak and Griffin Gate, but maybe we'll just send you and Barbstorm to go after White Peak then, and then we'll deal with you. Tyrion is moving to Val's Anvil. so we will definitely need to defend it. But Jaden, for now, I guess you're going to deal with this guy. All right, march stance and march stance, full speed stance, whatever, and go through. I was so happy about getting to invade Ulthuan, but this stupid little army had to spawn in our territory, and we saw it building up. It's just that, well, who knew they were going to declare war? You are going to what? Land in Naggarond? Yeah, good luck with that. That's not gonna work out for you. We still need to destroy these guys, however, and I guess Crone Hellebrand. Ooh, you're not able to reach this in one bound, are you? No, but you can land here and then raid the territory and then see how they react after. Alright, we'll do that. And we'll land you right here. We'll begin the raiding so you don't suffer attrition. Oh my, you can get a lot of money from raiding this place. And a 20k per second. Oh, that ain't bad either, but we could take it to tier 3, and we are able to build the Ogham Stones, which I believe we can build at tier 3 and 5, so we should probably keep that as it is. Anyway, with that, I think we're pretty much out of time, so I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, Arathi will probably move towards defending against Tyrion, so we'll use Furion to take Avathir, and I guess we'll leave White Peak to Admiral Yorn, while Malekith will probably try to get the Sword of Cain. In fact, we could try this right now. Sacrifice the Shelra and see if it works out. Alright, let's see if it works out. Alright, the Shelra, you have nothing on you, so you're going to attack the gate, and you're going to die, and then hopefully the sword will go to you. Auto-resolve. Please take the sword, please take it, don't return it. Sword of Cain claimed, and you have it. Fantastic, which means Malekith can then go into Druki for a strike, and attack the Unicorn Gate, and claim the Sword of Cain. And, oh, he actually survived that? Oh, that's, huh. I was actually expecting that. Pyrrhic Victory. Do we bother fighting this? What level gate is this? It's a level, it's a level 2 gate. This is probably not worth our time, is it? Oh, we can get better battles than that, like at the Guy in Vale. Now that would be a battle. There we go. Yeah, we got Phoenix Guard and a bunch of defenders, plus they're starting to build up some stuff. Alright, fine. We'll auto-resolve this just so we can end the episode off with Malekith having reclaimed the Sword of Cain. And yeah, we could do a battle to make him do it personally, but this is all garbage and Malekith would probably be able to deal with it all himself. So, auto-resolve and occupy. Don't bother looting it. Very nice. And oh, actually, maybe I should have looted it. I forgot that it was a... but it wasn't that much anyway. We'll claim the Sword of Cain, like so. Fantastic. 2 Swords of Cain? I don't think... Claim it again. Hopefully it doesn't double debuff us. No, it doesn't. Okay, I was worried that it would, you know, redo the debuff and then have it happen twice. Huh, and it showed it happening twice as well. Well, too bad we don't get double the stats from it, but there we go. And the Sword of Cain is ours. 1.3k base weapon strength now. Well, not base, but without buffs, rather. And 98 melee attack, as well as 36 ward save physical, or ward save general, and then 46 physical on top of that. Pretty darn solid. Malekith should be a lot more difficult to bring down, and I can't wait for him to try the Sword of Cain out. Hopefully he can actually come down here and take Lothar before Morathi does it for him. But we're gonna have to find out whether that's possible over the next few episodes, so stay tuned for more out Malekith. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.